Give you a briefing about the institution?
All I know is it's a mental hospital.
For the criminally insane.
So that was the first part of the trailer. It started with a green title screen, which is something that is shown at the start of every professional trailer. It is then shown the production company logo, and it faded white, and then it all came out into a ship, and this made it look very mysterious and was very effective for me. I can consider doing something like that into my trailer. It had the music going over the title screen straight into the rest of the dialogue. So even though that was only a title screen to be seen, it was still very effective and entertaining for the viewer. The costumes of the characters are very seem to be old and are stereotypical detectives. So this is establishing their jobs and their roles within the trailer. It has a very fast shot of an old army car, which what appeared to be old-fashioned soldier uniforms driving around on it, and it was a high shot of barbed wire. So it was as though the viewer was trapped, and it made it even more interesting because we want to know why is there barbed wire there. And the general dialogue of the mentally insane, it really intrigues us because we want to know why are these detectives in a place where people are mentally insane. It also has an established shot of the island, and it really shows how isolated it is all round by the water. So it shows a sense of people being trapped in there. So this gives the viewer another sense of what is in the trailer and what they can expect to come from the product.
Gentlemen, welcome to Shutter Island. You're hereby required to surrender your firearms.
We are duly appointed federal marshals.
But during your stay, you will obey protocol. Is that understood?
So there was introduced a title screen, and in the title screen it was quite simple and had the same font and the same colours. The only difference within the words was the different sizes. So although it was simple, it still stood out and looked out and was effective for the audience and grabbed attention just from the slight different font size. It then shows the dialogue going over different shots. I had a close-up of the detectives' badges, and it was established that they didn't want to give away their weaponry, but then the close-up of them giving it to the marshal really shows that this place was very different, and that even people who work for the government had to give up their weaponry for them, and that really gives a mystery to the viewer, as we wouldn't expect to see that in a real-life situation, so we want to watch the final product to find out why.
We take only the most dangerous and damaged patients, ones no other hospital can manage.
These are all violent offenders, right? They've hurt people, murdered them in some cases.
In almost all cases, yes. We try to provide them with a measure of calm.
Personally, Doctor, I'd have to say screw their sense of calm.
So in that clip, you can see the most effective part was the sound within it. So to echo a big scream, so it makes the viewer wonder who was screaming and why they were screaming, and the effect of it echoing it makes it more mysterious. Also, the overall general dialogue makes us interested because it leaves so many unanswered questions, so we'd want to watch the final project to find out the answers. It had a few dramatic sound effects which went along some very quick, fast, close-up shots of different things such as guns and lights and doorknobs. The effect of this is that we only get a glimpse of what we want to see and we don't get the whole picture. So this also leaves some sort of mystery, and this is something that I can use in my trailer. We also see what can be considered as the evil patients that are on this island in a hospital. They are generally quite scary. She has a very pale face, lack of hair, and very beady, scary eyes. This further interests the viewer and makes them want to see thing because they want to know why they look like this and why they're on the island.
So this prisoner escapes in the last 24 hours.
We don't know how she got out of her room. It's as if she evaporated straight through the walls.
We haven't heard the truth once yet.
But no one will talk. It's like they're scared of something.
It's all down, all the lines, even radio.
Whatever the hell's going on here, it's bad. We need to ask you some questions, okay?
Do you know what fear does to the mind? Corrodes it, rusts it.
This is a game. You're a rat in a maze. Who did this to you?
Going somewhere?
So that last clip of the trailer is very effective. It included different transitions within each shot. For an example, when a woman passed over a piece of paper that said run, it faded onto the next clip so that the effect of the fear on the audience lasted longer. Also, the overall general dialogue, yet again, leaves unanswered questions for the audience. So there's more mystery. There's dramatic sound effects that link to the fast-paced, quick cuts. For an example, there are different cuts of the actor's facial expressions, and he pulls different ones where he looks sicker and other ones where he looks more confused. This yet again leaves unanswered questions. It also introduced a different variety of shots, such as bird-eye views and different angles and continuous shots that follow around the actors around the room. This is really interesting to the viewer as it's not all the same and they contrast each other, making it stand out and look more actiony.
I've built something valuable here. I'm not going to give up without a fight.
What if while you were looking into them, they were looking into you? Now they have us both here now.
Let me see your face.
Let me see your damn face now! Don't move, don't move!
So that was coming towards the end of the trailer. You could tell that the music's tempo was getting quicker, meaning that the cuts were getting even quicker, and shorter, and including a variety of different things. So there was lots for the audience to digest all at the same time. Some of the really effective shots was when a gunshot fire blew up and then blew onto another shot, so the sound kept going on and travelling, so the effect was with the audience longer. There were some supernatural things, such as the final shot where the actor is holding onto a woman who falls into dust, which yet again leaves unanswered questions. The general dialogue turns into shouting, and the effect of this is it gets louder against the previous dialogue, which starts to scare the viewer as we expect to see and hear shouting in a thriller film.
Wouldn't you agree? When you see a monster, you must stop it.
So that was the end of the trailer. What was really effective about that is that the fast-paced sound went to a final stop and echoed as the title screen faded in and faded out. It then introduced one last scene that built up a lot of tension due to the low tone of music and the dialogue over the top of it, which was quite a scary thing to say, as the viewer would not know what the answer is to the question. It then had a big jump scare. This is something that I can include into my trailer, because the audience wouldn't expect for it to happen. It then includes credits and the final date, and that is also a fade in and fade out with a high pitch echo sound effect at the end of it. So this means as it echoes, the effect still holds onto the audience and makes us even more scared